Intense 9-day overseas international voyage that by all accounts was a home run. Our commander-in-chief, the pillar of strength and a true advocate for America.
Joining me now, Jennifer Rubin, or still with me, Jennifer Rubin, Olivia Nuzzi, Joy Reid, Nicholas Confessori, Michelle Goldberg, Jason Johnson. I've been absolutely fascinated by how the conservative media has dealt with particularly the last month or so. And one of the things I find really interesting is the fact that while the country has been, this health care bill, particularly recently, has consumed, they want to have nothing to do with it. It is really astounding when you think about it. I mean, 8 years of repeal and replace, Tea Party rallies, people, and let me just say, I have talked to conservative citizens, just random people, who really do know a lot about Obamacare, and have critiques of it that are quite sophisticated and have thought a lot about it and really, dislike it for these and that. And here it is, the moment, the crowning achievement, victory, just at the precipice of the grand epic win, and it's silence. It is so fascinating. And Jennifer, I want to ask you, as someone who sort of comes more from the world of conservatism as an entity, what is that about?
I think it's two things. One is it's not going well. So if they can't say anything nice, they change the topic.
Yeah, right.
These people are cheerleaders. And by the way, by right-wing media, I think we should be specific. We're talking about the Fox hosts. We're talking about some of these blogs. There are conservative outlets. The Weekly Standard, for example, has done some excellent reporting. So it's not every conservative leading
Let me just
journal,
say this, though. I want to be clear on this. This is true. You have people at the Weekly Standard, the National Review, and D.C. Examiner, Washington Examiner. Philip Klein is a really good healthcare reporter we've had on. And all those people are writing about it. But if you go to any of their websites, it is not leading. It is not dominating. And I will say that I lived through this on the other side at the Nation magazine as the Washington editor during the Affordable Care Act. And let me tell you, it was at the top. That fight was at the top of the page. That no one was burying the healthcare fight. People were really, really invested in that.
But isn't that because the fight in 20...
Continue.
There are two things. One is that it's not going well, and the other is the not-so-secret truth is a lot of these very virulently anti-government people don't understand it. They don't know what's in it. They don't know what it means. This is what happens when you become so antagonistic towards government. You don't really know what's going on. You don't have the facility with the information, so you just go on to something you know, which is screaming at the liberal elite. And it's really a statement on the state of conservatism, actually.
And there's also an element of bad faith here in that some of the kind of conservative goals are, for example, higher deductibles, right? I mean, there's a lot of people who do healthcare policy who believe that higher deductibles will make people get less...
Skin in the game.
Right,
literally.
Right. Yeah. They'll use less healthcare. They'll be more kind of
judicious.
They'll approach it as consumers, that it will drive costs down. But nobody wants to make a public case for higher deductibles, and which is part of this plan, particularly when they've been complaining about high deductibles in Obamacare for the last 8 years.
And this goes to what we were talking about with Trump and his inability to, whether it was Rubio or not, he can't sell it, he can't explain it. He's your superstar, but you got to hide him on defense. And that's what happens every single time. They know that their biggest name can't explain.
Okay, but there's also something else here I think is happening, which is about power and perceptions of power. Here is a movement that controls all branches of government. There are 5 Republican-appointed Supreme Court justices. They have majorities in both houses, and they have the White House, okay? They're running things, and I will click over to Fox, and I will watch a Fox News host leading their show, interviewing a 19-year-old freshman at Kenyon who burned an American flag. And I think to myself, you guys you have it, you've got it, you're running the country.
And their homepage was a story about the Obamas on vacation.
Yes,
right, exactly.
But that's because it's a lot. It's one thing.
I think the point is that it really wasn't about Obamacare. I mean, the fact is, it's much easier for them to be the opposition, for them to be, arguing in favor of Donald Trump against somebody else. But they don't have Hillary Clinton right now, and so instead they're going to talk about CNN. They're going to talk about MSNBC. They're going to talk about the liberal media, because that is Donald Trump's enemy right now, because there are no others.
Right, but it's not
and they can't talk about something extremely unpopular popular, that doesn't make it seem like Donald Trump is winning, right?
And also, when Barack Obama is the face of healthcare, right? It's a lot. Of course, it's easy to demonize. That's an Obama thing, but it is just fundamentally much easier to go to war to expand healthcare, to make that an open fight that you're proud of. Because I want to give more people healthcare. This is a fundamental fight. That the bottom line is, we want fewer people to have Medicaid. That is 72 million people. We want to take Medicaid from them. We want to turn it into a block grant. The actual policies that conservatives have run on all of these decades are unpopular, but they've been able to make them seem more popular when they are in opposition to a Democrat.
And I will say this. One of the amazing things about this, where we stand, is that the one person who really figured this out more than anyone was Donald Trump.
It's Donald Trump.
In the primary, who realized that there was no constituency among Republicans for Paul Ryanism, and he deviated from it, and now here we are, Jennifer Rubin and Olivia Nuzzi.